जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारी यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राम हरे जय राधा माधव राधे जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद और प्रेमानंदे जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिराजकार स्तोत्र सदा श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंदे श्री भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिराजकार स्तोत्र सदा श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्त सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासती गौर भक्त वृंद की ब्रजम वृंदावन धाम की श्री क्षेत्र मायापुर धाम की गंगा माँ यमुना माई की भक्ति देव तुलसी महारानी की Samet Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki, Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Distribution ki, Itai Gaur Premanande, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Shiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 87, Text 23. This chapter entitled The Prayers of the Personified Vedas. So, since this purport is very long, we can recite verse together. Nirbhartamanoyormano akakshadrik yoga yugdo hridiyan munaya upakshate tad aryayo api yuyu samanat striya ugandreya bhoga bhuja bandha vikshadhinto vyam api tasmat samadristo anigrasuryo satam. Yeah. Word to word meaning. Nirbhatha, brought under control. Muryat, with breathing. Manaha, mind. Aksha, the senses. Dhrida yoga, in steady, fast yoga. Yujam, eager, engaged. Hridi, in the heart. Yat, which. Munaya, sages. Upasyate, worship. Tad, that. Haryana, enemies. Api, also. Yuyuhu, attained. Samanarat, by remembering. Strayam, woman. Ugra Indraha, of loudly serpents. Bhoga, like the bodies. Bhuja, whose arms. Danda, rod-like. Vikshate, attracted. Dhiya, whose minds. Vyoyam, we. Api, also. Te, to you. Samataham, equal. Sama, equal. Drishta, whose vision. Anigrihim, of the feet. Saurojaha, lotus-like. Shuddha, relishing the nectar. Translation and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Simply by constantly thinking of Him, the enemies of the Lord attain the same supreme truth, whom sages fixed in yoga worship by controlling their breath, mind, and senses. Similarly, Shrutis, who are generally see you as a pervading, will achieve the same nectar from your lotus feet that your consort are able to relish because of their loving attraction to your mighty serpent arm. For you look upon us and your consort in the same way. Purport. So purport is a little bit longer. So please hear careful. Purport according to the Acharya Sri Jiva Goswami, the few Shrutis such as Gopala Tapani Upanishad who identify the cowherd boy Krishna with absolute Brahman in its highest aspect had so far been patently waiting for their turn to speak. But after hearing the other Shrutis offer prayers openly glorify the Lord's personality, these imitate Shrutis could not no longer contain themselves, and so they spoke out of their turn in this verse. Followers of the path of the mystic yoga subdued their senses and minds, practicing breath control and severe austerity. If they succeed thoroughly purifying themselves by this regimen, and they may eventually begin to realize the Paramatma, the personal form of the Brahman within the hearts. And if they continue this meditation without deviation for a long time, they may in the end come to the point of a true God consciousness. But the same object achieved in this difficult and uncertain way was also attained by the demons who were killed by the Lord Krishna during his pastimes on the earth. Obsessed with the enmity towards him, demons like Kamsa Shashupala quickly obtained the perfection of liberation simply by his killing them. Speaking for themselves, however, the personified Vedas here state that they would prefer to develop a love of Godhead by learning to eliminate the favorable surrender of Lord Krishna's confidential devotees, especially the young gopis of Raja. Though they appear to be a simple women attracted conjugally to the Lord's physical beauty and strength, and the goddess of Raja exhibited the highest perfection of meditation, the Shruti wishes to become just like them. In this regard, Lord Brahma relates the following historical accounts in supplement of the Brihad Vamana Purana. Brihad Brahmanandamayo loko vapi vaikunta samaditaha tat loko vasitara sitha sutayo veda parat para. The infinite world of spiritual bliss is called Vaikuntha. There is a supreme truth lives, being glorified by the personified Vedas who are also present there. Charanam Sutva Tathas Tatuha Paroksham Paratan Griha Tusto Asmi Bruto Bhujana Varam Vam Manisipspatham. Once after the Vedas had elaborately praised him, the Lord felt especially satisfied and spoke to them in a voice whose source remained invisible. My dear sage, I am very pleased with you. Please ask me some benediction that you secretly desire. Srutiyovachu, Srutiyovachu, Yatha tad loke vishnanayaha, kamaktitvena gopakaha, vajanti ramnam matvam, chakrustami The Srutis replied, we have developed this desire to become like cowherd women of the mortal world who, inspired by lust, worship you in the mood of a lover. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Durlabho Dirghata Chaiva Yoshkaman Sa Mano Rathaham Moyata Samyak Satyam Bhutvim Arahati. The Lord then said, this desire of yours is difficult to fulfill. Indeed, it is almost impossible. But since I am unsetting it, your wish must be inevitably come true. Anagviti Vidyutu Jeti Srasti Arhatam Udvite Kalpam Sarvasvatam Va Prapayaphi Vijate Gopa Bhadeshvarata. When the next Brahman takes birth to faithfully execute his duties, creation, and when the day of life he called the Sarasvatva Kalpa arrives, you'll all appear in the Raja as gopis. Prithvim Bharatiye Krishte Maruthye Mama Mandale dayati bhavasyami prayan yovasya mandale. On the earth, in the land of Bharata, in my own district of Mathura, in the forest of Vrindavan, I will become your bewildered in the circle of the rasa dance. Jaradhamnina sumanena sudharvata sarvasto adhikam mai samparsha sarvepi krita bhata bhavasvata. Thus obtain me as your paramour, you will all you will all gain the most exalted and steadfast pure love for me, and in such a and in this way you will fulfill your all your ambitions. Brahmavacha Sravaste Charanandascha Rupam Bhagavataschiranam Utpala Kalam Samadasya Gopayo Bhuvata Harim Katha. Lord Brahma said, after hearing these words, the Shrutis meditated on the personality of Godhead beauty for a long time. When the designated time ultimately arrived, they became gopis and obtained the association of Krishna. A similar account can be found in the Sriti Kanda of the Padma Purana, which describes how Gayatri Mantra also became a gopi. Regarding the development of bhakti, Lord Krishna further states in Gopal Tapani Upanishad, Utpalato puta bhavati yam mam shruta avarati prati bhavanti yam mam shrutman nishkrama swakamo bhavanti yam mam Srimati Ashroti Stroti Bhavanti Yam Mam Srimata. By remembering me, one who is impure becomes pure. By remembering me, one who is follow no vows becomes a strict followers of vow. By remembering me, one who desireless develop desire to serve me. By remembering me, one who has studied no Vedic mantras becomes an expert of the Vedas. Brihat Aranyaka Upanishad refers to the gradual steps in the process of becoming Krishna consciousness. Atma va drishtasvatho anvayato nidhandista. It is a self of which one must observe the heard of about though of the meditation upon fixed concentration. The idea here is that one should realize the Supreme Self as a direct, visible, his full personality by following means. First, one should hear the instructions of the qualified representative of Paramatma, take the words of such a spiritual master into the one's heart by offering him humble service and striving in all ways to please him. One should then ponder the divine message of the spiritual master continuously with the aim of dispelling all the doubts and misconception. Then one can proceed to the meditation on the supreme lotus feet with a total conviction of determination. The so-called jnanis may think that Upanishads praise the Nirvishesha personal soul, realizing the supreme as a more complete and final than Savishesha, personal worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All the honest Vaishnavas, however, join adhere to the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, always meditate with the pleasure on His infinite, wonderful, variegated spiritual qualities. In the world of Shruti mantras, Yam Evasya Manustatraya. To the Supreme whom the Super Soul chooses, he becomes attainable to that Supreme Soul, reveals his personal form. Katha Upanishad and Mundak Upanishad. Sri Siddha Swami concludes that Charanam Smaranam Premena Tadena Tu Durlabha Yatha Kashitni Hride Mama Durlabha Ahar Snisham. O Lord, loving remembrance of your lotus feet is very rarely achieved. Please, O Narahai, somehow arrange for me to have such a remembrance day and night. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshurulmitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Rutapadakammalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamshyam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Saganadayita Sri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavanusuti Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Antakoti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. So here we see this chapter is entitled The Prayers of Personified Vedas. So each Vedas are glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead for the purification. And in this present context, we see that the one personification of Vedas, they have glorified the Lord sufficiently. It is now its turn for the Shrutis to glorify. When they simply think of the Lord, they become ecstatic and they're simply constantly thinking of Him. They say that just by thinking of you, even enemies get liberation. So, in Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his songs, one of the Sharanagati songs, Ashura Sakala Paila Charana Bhakti Vinoda Thakilo Boshi. He says that Gopinath, Mama Nivedana Suno. In that song, the last line he mentions that all the demons achieved the your lotus feet except me, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That is his humility, of course. We cannot say that okay, Bhaktivinoda Thakur did not achieve. No, he achieved. But out of humility, he is presenting in his song that all the great enemies of the Lord, when they got killed by the Lord, they achieved the perfection of life. So my point is here that even somebody is thinking the Lord as his enemy can attain the perfection. And imagine if somebody is thinking the Lord in a favorable, what destination he will get. Correct? Somebody is thinking, somebody is hating the Lord. I hate the Lord. I don't like the Lord. For them, he is giving liberation. Just like we see the Kamsa, Shishupala, and all other demons. They think enmity. They are in enmity. They don't like the Lord, but still they're constantly thinking day and night. And they got highest perfection. Just like Putana. She came to kill the Lord. And what destination she got? She got one of the mother in Goloka Vrindavan. And someone who is totally enmity, perfectly enmity, and completely he's thinking of Krishna how to kill them. Like another example, Shishupala. So Shishupal was, as soon as he born, he started criticizing the Lord, he started blaspheming the Lord, right from his birth. He got liberation. So imagine a person who is favorably thinking the Lord, just like devotees of the Lord, they want to please the Lord, they want to achieve the perfection, they want to go home, back to Godhead. What is their destination? So this is a hope-giving verse. Person who is thinking negatively, they got highest perfection. But person who is thinking positively, how much they will get. Correct? So here the Shrutis are glorifying in this way. Person who are thinking in an enmity way, they got highest perfection. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in this song. So the Acharyas, they write a song or glorification of the Lord, they don't write out of imaginary things, or they don't write out of sentimentals. They, when they write the song, it will be the essence of all the scriptures and Vedas and Puranas and Bhagavatam. See, this is the glorification of the Srutis. They are glorifying, but what is the essence? Bhaktivinoda Thakur song he wrote in his song, Gopinath Mama Nivedana Suno. So that's why whenever we chant whenever we sing these bhajans of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, in that matter anybody, we should think that these songs are not ordinary songs. These songs are the essence of the all the scriptures. When somebody asks you what is the essence of all the scriptures, and you can say that the songs of the acharyas, because they have studied all the scriptures books, and they given you in a simple form, in a Bengali simple form as the songs. Just by reciting those songs, you will achieve the perfection. You will achieve the same. The Vedas, Vedshrutis, they are glorifying the Lord because they are not ordinary persons. They are highest. They have their platform is very high, and they know all the Vedas, and they know the whole Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they themselves are glorifying, but their essence is glorified in the this simple bhajans, Bengali bhajans, that we can read, we can chant, we can memorize. That means you are also glorifying the Lord as Shruti is glorified. And not only that, big yogis, they control their mind and senses for not for the months, for the years. They themselves are also not able to achieve the perfection. And why they are saying? Because they see that simple women, in the Vrindavan, they got association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Rasa dance. So that is the nectar they got. If they got such a nectar by simple service, and Shruti say that we also need that association. So this is the prayers they are offering to the Supreme Lord. When they offer the prayers, Lord hears them and tell them it is not only difficult, it is almost impossible to achieve the Gopi Bhav. You know, because this is the highest. It cannot be exercised by some activity, or exercised by some doing some act, and you will achieve the perfection. No, because speaking the gopis bhav, it is not at all easy. Once, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami did not utter one time also Radharani, because if he utters the name of Radharani, he will go into ecstasy and he will not come back. So think of everybody chanting Radhe Radhe Radhe. So how much endeavor we need to do. Just to understand, Sukadeva Goswami, he did not utter Radharani's name. That's why, because this is they have highest perfection. They associate with the Lord, and they leave everything and anything for the Lord. They don't care about a social custom. They don't care of the family. They don't care of anything in this material world. They just give up and they surrender unto the Lord. It's not that okay, you should call me at this time, then only we will join the rasa dance. Otherwise, we will not come. No, they don't make a Krishna does not make a schedule. Just like we have a schedule, we don't. Krishna did not make any schedule. Whenever he likes, he plays the flute. Immediately, all the gopis, whatever they are doing, One gopi is taking care of child, immediately she leaves. One gopi is, taking the water out of well, she immediately leaves. One gopi is taking care of husband, immediately she leaves. As soon as that call comes, they immediately run towards the Lord and do the service. So this is not a easy task. It cannot be done easily. It has so much pious activities, so much you have to do so much pious activities. You have to do so much. You must be studied so many Vedas, Upanishads, and did all the pious activities. And after doing pious activities, you have to do all the austerities, and then you will come to that level. No, then you will come to the spontaneous devotional service. There are two types of devotional service. One is Raganugadaga Bhakti and one is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Now, everybody, persons who are practicing devotional service in general, there will be Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. In Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, they are given all the rules and regulations. You have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. That is, then you will achieve Krishna Prayam. Then you will achieve your identity is clear. Then your identity is purified. In spontaneous devotional service, they don't do all those things, but they will ready to do anything and everything for the Lord. Spontaneous devotional service. It is just like if the somebody if middle of the night 1 o'clock, if we are asked to do service, then we will say no. This is middle of the night. What are you talking? In 1 o'clock, that is not possible. This is not my schedule, and this is we are. That means we are not ready for that. If the middle of the night gopis were asked to come to the join rasa dance, they immediately join because they have that understanding, they have that knowledge. Whereas a normal sadhaka, he does not have because he has to follow this. Of course, there is nothing wrong in following, but what I am saying is that the Shrutis, Puranas, Upanishads, they are glorifying the Lord to get the association, to get the as the same feature or to be born in the Raja Bhumi as one of the gopi or at least a dust. When uh, Uddhava came to Vrindavan, after seeing the love of Godhead which the gopis has, he completely forgot himself. He completely bewildered, and he was totally mesmerized, and he was totally, you know, all his knowledge was gone. All his whatever he studies, he was scholar. It's not that Uddhava is an ordinary person. He's a student of Brihaspati, and all his knowledge and everything is gone because after seeing their love, and he was crying. And he prayed, at least I can be dust of this uh, Vrindavan, not in Vrindavan, outside of Vrindavan. And same way, we see that Lord Brahma, he is also praying after seeing the Gopi Bhav. He was also praying that I'm born as a mountain outside of Vrindavan. We see that in Vrindavan there is a place called, I'm not sure what is the name of the place, but there is a place where Lord Brahma is in the form of mountains. We don't know exactly where it is. That we can refer to that. So when you understand who is the Supreme Lord and what the Gopi Bhav, what is the love of Godhead, then immediately two things will happen. What? One, we will become so humble, and two, we will we will get what is the how to achieve the goal of how to achieve there. The one is we will become so humble, we will become so down to the earth because we understand what is their level, what is our level. And second thing, we understand how to go there. Because when you only understand, when you have the knowledge of the gopi bhav, then only you will become humble. When you don't have the knowledge of the Lord and his devotees, naturally you don't become humble. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Tunadapi sunichena tarorapi saishuna amani namanadena kirtaniya sada hari. So just I'll become humble blade of the grass. Because he understand what is the gopi bhav. Because we cannot describe in the words, because they will do anything and everything. They don't care for any custom. Just like one of the pastime, like when Lord is in Dwaraka, suddenly he gets a headache. You know, all the queens of the Dwaraka, they came to him. What is the solution? What is the medicine? And they were asking. And at that time, Narada also appeared there, and he was also asking. Then Lord Krishna told, I need the dust from my devotees. Then only this headache will gone. Then Narada says, Narada looks to the queens and asked, you are all devotees of the Lord, can you give your dust? And immediately they said, no, 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 no. If we give our dust, we will go to hell. We don't want to give that. Then Narada says that, okay, he travels different places to the different devotees. Everybody rejects. But when he goes to Vrindavan, he says this news on in Dwara in Krishna, Lord Krishna is having headache in Dwarka. So what is the solution? And he said that he wants dust from the dust from the devotees. Then immediately, without even thinking of second thought, immediately get the dust from their feet and they gave it to him. So when he applied, and Lord Krishna relief of this headache. So this pastime demonstrate that how their surrender, they don't care. They go to the hell. If imagine if somebody asks, can you give your dust? One sannyasi wants to take on your head. Then what you will say immediately? No, no, no. What are you talking? But here the gopis, they are in that level. They don't care for anything. Similarly, in this same context, once time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj was also in the same mood. Like recently we celebrated his appearance day. He did not care for what people will think, what other brahmanas will think, and what is the social custom, and what is the nature, how will the people react. He did not think anything. He just did it for the pleasure of Krishna. That is one of the thing that he went in the Rolls Royce car, you know, in the Vrindavan, wearing the leather coat with the shoes. He to demonstrate what is Yukta Vairagya. You know, till that time, till he got a sannyasi diksha, till he was pre-sannyasi, he was just, you know, seeing all the Vrindavan, all the persons who were like people who are residing Vrindavan, they are looking like a beggar. They just go to home, beg, do madhukari, and eat. And the people in the people's mind, they only think, oh, devotees of Lord Krishna means beggars. Followers of the Goswamis of Vrindavan means just beggars. They don't contribute to the society anything. They don't use anything. But it's not correct. Lord Krishna, it's not instruction of the Lord. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati demonstrated how you can use everything in the service of the Lord. That is called Yukta Vairagya. But at the same time, one has to be very, very careful. So he did it everything for the pleasure of the Lord, for serving of the Lord. So here, gopis are also that state. Because why I'm saying this, Shrutis, the personification of Shruti, they are also person, they understand the gopi bhav and they want to become the gopis. So Lord in this big purport, and he clearly says that, you know, We have to develop the desire to become just a cowhide woman of the mortal world who, inspired by lust, worshipping you in a lover mood. Then Lord said, the desire that yours is difficult to fulfill. Indeed, it is almost impossible. But since I am sanctioning it, your wish must be inevitably come true. So then Lord says that, okay, this is almost impossible for you to get this Gopi Bhav, because he himself cannot understand the Gopi Bhav. That's why to understand the Gopi Bhav, he came in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he descended in this world, two reasons. One is to establish the devotional to the Lord, and also to taste the nectar of the Gopi Bhav. It's not that to absorb in the Radharani's Bhav, Gopi Bhav, just to taste. For the tasting that nectar, he came in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why when you worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you don't have to separately pray for the Radha Krishna. But when you worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, you get the love of Godhead very easily. People think that, oh, if we worship only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna might feel bad, or Jagannath might feel bad because we are offending them. No. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, if you worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime, if you read, if you glorify his, if you follow his instructions, you will become mad after Krishna. It's not that, like there are so many so-called god, so-called demi, so-called what you call babajis, and what they do is they attract a huge number of crowd to become god. And when you follow in their instructions, when you attracted to them, because eventually what will happen, you will become mad after them, but you will not get the love of Godhead. You understand? If you're attracted towards one personality, say some ex Baba or whatever he may be, so you will get attracted towards him by how he speaks, how he sings, how he does all the activities. You will become attracted to them, but you will not get attracted towards Lord Krishna. But here Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when you understand his pastimes, when you read his instructions, when you follow his instructions, when you chant and dance, you will eventually get the love of Godhead. It's not a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu attracting towards himself. He is giving love of Godhead freely distributing. The world is having everything except love, because world has this material world has all the facilities, and the people are all having all the necessities of their life, but the one thing is which is lacking is love. That's why they are searching love in different ways. So coming back to this verse, so when Lord agrees to their prayers, and he says that you will become the gopi in the next life of Sarvetashvara Kalpa. When Brahma's day, then you will appear Raja as a gopis, in Raja as gopis. So it's not that immediately, okay, you pray now and then immediately you become. You have to wait. You know, the Lord is so merciful that He's not says that immediately you will become. No. But in the same time, you have to be patient. Like in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Mahaprakash Leela, He was giving mercy to everyone, and He's not giving mercy to the Mukunda. Correct? And everybody asks, what happened? Why you're not giving mercy to Mukunda? And here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that he is offended. He is mixing with the other people. I will not give him mercy. Then when he will get mercy? After 10,000 lifetime. Then immediately every devotee who were nearby the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then went and told. And after hearing that you will get mercy after 10,000 lifetime. And immediately Mukunda started dancing in ecstasy. Why? Everybody was shocked. What happened? Why? He said that, did you heard clearly? that he is giving mercy after 10,000 lifetime. Then Kunda said, I will get mercy after at least after 10,000 lifetime. He got that knowledge. He has that knowledge because it is very, very rarely achieved. Love of Godhead. That love of Godhead is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is distributing freely. So on this earth, uh, it is very, very difficult to achieve his love of Godhead. One can be, you know, become a scholar. One can become a great person, businessman. One can become very rich. One can become all kinds of thing, like all kinds of. He can be become a perfection. He can be become expert in all kinds of activities. He can become expert magician. He can become expert businessman. He can become expert professor, scientist, whatnot. But he cannot become expert devotee easily. There has to be lots of investment going on. So similarly, then Lord Brahma also glorifies. The one of the prayer is very, very nice, which is here mentioned. So Brahma says that, after hearing these words, Shruti's meditation on the personality of God's beauty for a long time. When designated time ultimately arrived, they become gopis, obtained the association of Krishna. So similarly, see, if you want to become, just like I said, like if you want to become expert, just remember the Lord. Here it is says, by remembering Lord, who is impure becomes pure. By remembering the Lord, who follows no vows, becomes strict follower of vows, strict follower of the vows. By remembering the Lord, one who is desireless becomes desire to serve the Lord. By remembering the Lord, one who is studied no Vedic mantras become expert of the Vedas. So that's why Smartavya Satata Vishnu Vismartavya Najata Chit. Sarva Vedi Vishedatma Eta Eva Vokinkara. So why we have to remember the Lord? Just to not only just to become the expert his things, but also like if you want to follow something, wow, then what you will stick wow, you will become strict follower of the vows. So that's why we have to study the books and read, and then we'll become you know devotees of the Lord. Otherwise, it is just like uh, Lord is when you don't study the Srila Prabhupada books, when you don't read or when you don't hear lectures, pastimes of the Lord, it is just becoming a maintenance program. Just eating, sleeping, and doing nothing. And eventually, you will fall from that position and you will miss the opportunity of going home back to Godhead, or miss the opportunity of highest achievement of our life. It's not my words. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 25th chapter 278 verse, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, you know, in the context is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Here is in the verse. It says that one can become expert in eating, and in translation goes like this: one can become expert in eating and choosing the right food to eat, and he becomes proud and healthy. At the same time, if he is not attending, if he is not hearing the glories of Lord Radha and Krishna, whatever he may be achieved, whatever he may be, however he strong he may be, eventually the body deteriorates and he will die. He will miss the opportunity. In that purport, Srila Prabhupada writes like this, the this moment, Krishna consciousness, whoever is connected to this moment of Krishna consciousness, they must study, read books of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all other books. If person is not doing that, simply what happens is eating, sleeping, doing other things, eventually he will fall from that position and he will miss the opportunity. Srila Prabhupada says, whoever is connected, it's not only brahmacharis, only sannyasis, or only grihasthas, whoever is connected. to the Krishna consciousness movement, they have to read the books. Very, very important. Books are for distribution and also for you to read. Okay. When you read the books, when you understand the Lord, it's not that what do you call? It's not for the academic, not for the memorizing verses. It's for your own benefit. Then you can able to also glorify the Lord just like these Shrutis. Vedas are glorifying the Lord. Then you also get understanding. Because when you read the books, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, all the books, your consciousness become purified. Your consciousness become clear. Then you can understand the relationship between you and Lord. Then these prayers make sense. Then these prayers, Shishashtakam makes sense. Why Lord is saying Yuga itam nimishena chakshusha pravishayitam? Because it's not simply he's saying out of sentiment. It is he's feeling that experience. Why Lord is saying Amanina manadena kirtaneya sadari? Because he is feeling that experience. He experienced that separation. I don't, if somebody is glorifying me or somebody criticize me, I don't care because I have something higher goal. But if people in this world, if somebody says one word, even though if it is correct, immediately they get hurt, they get upset. Oh, you said like this, that because they are not getting the highest goal. When you have highest thing, but you don't fall for the lowest, the cheap things in this material world. Just like when a kid comes and says to you, "Oh, Prabhu, you are not wearing tilak nicely. Will you really care for that kid?" You just laugh at him and just care. But why? Because you are in that platform where you don't care for the kid's word. Similarly, we should be situated in that platform where if somebody says something, you should not get immediately upset because why we are getting upset is we are getting touched by those words. Because when you are not in higher platform, we will be lower platform. Just like when you throw a ball in the air, either it goes upward or it is comes down. It will not stay in stationary in the air. Similarly, we have to always raise our consciousness so that these material things will not disturb. So that's why book reading and chanting, hearing, these are all important. Out of all, book reading is the most important. Why people are unhappy, even though devotees, we see them, some of them are unhappy, not happy because they don't study the books. No, when you're not studying the books, the process is like a sentimental, ritualistic activities, just like a autopilot. In autopilot, pilot won't operate that flight. He just press the button, the flight takes off, goes and lands. Similarly, when you do chanting, hearing without studying books, it is like autopilot mode. You don't feel that because when you read the books, you understand why you are chanting, you understand why you are attending, you understand why you are doing devotional service. So that's why when you read the knowledge, then it will become this movement will become scientific. Srila Prabhupada tells this is a scientific movement. It's not sentimental movement. Oh, if I don't chant today, some disturbance will happen. Or my life will go down, or some crisis come upon us. No, it is not like if one, for example, if you give up chanting one day, nothing will happen. But at the same time, you chant because you took a vow. Not only that, but to purify your existence, that's why you should chant. Not for the people will say something. Oh, that devotee will say something. Oh, my Guru Maharaj criticized something. Of course, your Guru Maharaj sannyasis, you took a vow. But you should do for yourself and you should do for the others' sake. Janma sartha karo paropakar. First, you should purify yourself. Why you are chanting? You should purify yourself so that you can able to preach. What will happen? You preach. When you preach, you will able to taste that nectar. When you're able to taste the nectar, again you chant, again you read, again you preach. But if you don't know why you're chanting, you don't know why you're reading, then it will become a sentiment. Okay, then what does then this moment become boring. Okay, so I think I'll stop here. 8:30. Any questions, comments on this? Okay, we'll stop here. Grantaraj Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur